Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into the world of one of history's most successful investors, Warren Buffett. His name is synonymous with long-term investing, financial wisdom, and a remarkably consistent track record. We'll explore the key principles that have guided him to build a multi-billion-dollar fortune and what we can learn from his approach. Part 1. A young boy with big dreams. Warren Buffett was born on 30th August 1930 in Omaha, Nebraska, in the United States. His father, Howard Buffett, was a stockbroker and later became a member of the U.S. Congress. Warren's mother, Lala, stayed at home to take care of the family. Warren was the second of 3 children. From a very young age, Warren was interested in money and business. At just 6 years old, he bought packs of Coca-Cola bottles and sold them for a profit. He kept track of his money carefully and loved numbers. While other children played games, Warren read books about business and investing. When he was 11 years old, Warren bought his first stock. He bought 3 shares of a company called Cities Service. The stock went down at first, but then it went up a little, and Warren sold it for a small profit. But later, the stock price increased a lot more. This taught him an important lesson: sometimes, it's better to be patient. Warren worked hard even as a young boy. He delivered newspapers and made money in small ways like selling gum, used golf balls, and stamps. By the time he was a teenager, he had saved more than $5,000. He filed his own tax return at the age of 14. After high school, Warren went to the University of Pennsylvania but later transferred to the University of Nebraska. He wanted to attend Harvard Business School, but they rejected him. That didn't stop him. He found out that his favorite investor, Benjamin Graham, was teaching at Columbia University, so he applied there and got in. At Columbia, Warren learned the most important lessons about investing from Graham. Graham believed in buying companies that were undervalued, meaning their stock prices were cheaper than their actual worth. This idea became the base of Warren's future investment strategy. After college, Buffett worked for a while at his father's company, then later joined Benjamin Graham's firm in New York. But when Graham retired, Warren returned to Omaha and started his own investment business in 1956. He was only 25 years old and started with $105,000 from friends and family. This was just the beginning of his incredible journey. Part 2. Building the Buffett Partnership. In 1956, Warren Buffett created a company called Buffett Partnership Limited. He started small, using the money he got from family and friends. But Warren was very smart with money. He invested carefully, choosing businesses that were worth more than their market prices. These types of businesses are called undervalued. Warren didn't follow the crowd. He didn't invest in popular stocks just because everyone else was. Instead, he read hundreds of financial reports and looked for hidden value in companies most people ignore. His strategy worked. His partnership grew quickly, and so did the money of the people who invested with him. By the early 1960s, Warren began buying shares of a struggling textile company called Berkshire Hathaway. At first, he thought it would be a short-term investment. But after having a disagreement with the company's management, Warren decided to buy more and take control of the company. Berkshire Hathaway was not a great business at the time. It was losing money. Later, Warren admitted that buying it was a mistake. But instead of selling it, he used it as his main investment company. This was a smart move, and it changed his life forever. With Berkshire Hathaway, Warren began buying insurance companies. These businesses collected premiums from customers before paying out claims. This gave Warren something called float money he could invest in other companies while waiting to pay out claims. The float became a powerful tool for building wealth. Warren also bought shares in companies like Sanborn Map and Dempster Mill. These were undervalued companies that most people didn't notice. His ability to see value where others didn't made him very successful. By 1969, Buffett had turned his original $105,000 into more than $100 million for his investors. But then, Warren surprised everyone. He shut down the partnership. He believed that too many people were gambling in the stock market and that it was hard to find good investments. He returned the money to his investors but kept Berkshire Hathaway. This marked the end of one chapter. Part 3: The Growth of Berkshire Hathaway. After closing his investment partnership, Warren focused all his energy on growing Berkshire Hathaway. He started buying companies that were not just cheap but also great businesses with strong brand names, loyal customers, and good management. One of the first companies Warren bought was See's Candies in 1972. It wasn't a fast-growing business, but it had loyal customers and could raise prices without losing them. Warren paid $25 million for See's Candies and later said it was one of his best investments. It taught him the power of buying high-quality businesses. He also bought shares in Geico, an insurance company he had first discovered in college. He liked Geico because of its low costs and smart business model. Eventually, Berkshire bought the entire company. During the 1980s and 1990s, Buffett invested in big American companies like Coca-Cola, American Express, and the Washington Post. These companies had strong reputations and consistent earnings. Warren believed in holding on to good companies for a long time. He once said, "Our favorite holding period is forever." Warren's close friend and business partner Charlie Munger played a big role in shaping this strategy. Munger encouraged Buffett to focus not only on cheap companies, but also on great companies even if they cost a bit more. Together, they created a winning formula. Buffett became famous for his plain-spoken wisdom. He lived in the same house in Omaha that he had bought in 1958. He drove the same car for years, ate simple meals like burgers and fries, and loved drinking Coca-Cola. Despite being one of the richest people in the world, he stayed humble and down to earth. His annual letters to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders were full of wisdom, humor, and honest insights. People around the world began reading them, not just investors, but students, teachers, and business leaders. Under Buffett's leadership, Berkshire Hathaway turned into a giant company that owned many businesses including Dairy Queen, BNSF Railway, Duracell, and more. The company also held large shares in major public companies. Buffett's success came from patience, discipline, and a deep understanding of business. Part 4: Buffett, the Philanthropist and Teacher. In the 2000s, Warren Buffett was not only known as a great investor, but also as a wise teacher and generous philanthropist. As he got older, he began thinking about what to do with his enormous wealth. In 2006, he made a big announcement. He would give away 99% of his fortune to help others. Most of it would go to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which works to improve healthcare and education around the world. This was the largest donation in history. But Warren didn't stop there. In 2010, he teamed up with Bill and Melinda Gates to create the Giving Pledge. This is a promise that billionaires around the world make to give away at least half of their wealth to charity. Many famous people joined, inspired by Buffett's example. Warren's reason for giving was simple. He said, "If you are in the luckiest 1% of humanity, you owe it to the rest of humanity to think about the other 99%. He believed that money should be used to help people, not just to make more money. Even in his 80s and 90s, Buffett kept working. He still read every day and studied businesses. He made big investments in companies like Apple and Bank of America. People were surprised that a man who once avoided technology stocks now believed in Apple. But Buffett always said he invested in good businesses, not just industries." Warren continued sharing his wisdom through interviews, meetings, and letters. Every year, thousands of people from around the world came to Omaha for the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting. It became known as the Woodstock for capitalists. There, Buffett and Munger answered questions for hours with honesty and humor. Buffett always reminded people to stay calm, think long-term, and never stop learning. Part 5: A Life of Simplicity, Wisdom, and Legacy. As Warren Buffett grew older, he remained a symbol of smart, honest, and humble investing. He showed that you don't need to be flashy or risky to be successful. You just need patience, knowledge, and integrity. By the 2020s, Berkshire Hathaway had become one of the largest companies in the world. It owned dozens of businesses and had shares in hundreds more. Buffett had turned a small investment partnership into a global empire. Even with all his success, Warren lived a simple life. He still lived in the same house, drove a basic car, and loved eating at McDonald's. He didn't believe in wasting money or showing off. He believed that the real joy in life comes from doing what you love and helping others. Warren also made sure that Berkshire Hathaway would be in good hands after he retired. He chose leaders like Greg Abel and Ajit Jain to continue the company's legacy. Buffett trusted them to lead with the same values and discipline he had followed all his life. His biggest legacy, however, is not just the money he made. It is the example he set. He taught millions of people how to think clearly, avoid greed, and make smart choices. He showed that success doesn't have to come at the cost of honesty. Warren Buffett's life is a story of a boy who loved numbers, grew into a man who built one of the greatest businesses in history, and became one of the world's most generous people. He proved that with the right mindset, anyone, no matter where they start, can achieve greatness. His journey continues to inspire people across the world. If this story inspired you, hit like, share, and subscribe. For more extraordinary stories, stay tuned to my channel. Thank you for watching.